You're gonna get hurt, Marie. Or worse.
If you go in there, something bad is going to happen.
Something bad.
Sometimes, the scariest thing about seeing the future isn't knowing what's coming. It's realizing you might not understand it at all. In genv Season 2, fans were left speechless when Annabeth's terrifying vision of Marie's death didn't come true. Annabeth, introduced as a precog, someone who can see glimpses of the future, had a chilling premonition of her sister's fate. She saw Marie's death, an image so vivid and real that it haunted her throughout the final episodes. But when the season ended, Marie was still alive. So what really happened? Did Annabeth's powers fail her? Or did she see something far more complex than anyone realized? Let's dive deep into why Annabeth's vision of Marie's death didn't happen and how it could still come true in The Boys Season 5. Because one thing's for sure, this wasn't just a random mistake. It might be the biggest foreshadowing in the entire Gen V storyline. From the moment Annabeth was introduced, it was clear her powers came with a catch. Unlike most supes who have some degree of control over their abilities, Annabeth's precognition seemed erratic, unpredictable, and emotionally charged. Her visions didn't appear on command. They struck her like lightning, often triggered by emotional stress or intense fear. And when they hit, she didn't just see the future. She felt it. It consumed her whole body, leaving her shaken and sometimes physically weak. That alone tells us something important. Annabeth's powers aren't precise. They're intuitive, messy, and potentially symbolic. Her visions may not always depict literal events, but emotional truths, metaphors, or alternative possibilities. So when she saw Marie's death, maybe it wasn't a direct prophecy. Maybe it was a representation of something deeper, like the death of Marie's innocence, her morality, or even her identity as she steps closer to the world of the boys. But let's not ignore the possibility that Annabeth really did see a moment in time, one that simply hasn't happened yet. In her vision, Annabeth saw Marie dying, but the context was vague. We didn't see who killed her or where it happened. That's a critical detail because Gen V and the boys exist in the same universe, and timelines between the two series are deeply interconnected. The events of Gen V Season 2 take place shortly before The Boys Season 5, meaning Annabeth's vision could very well be a glimpse of something that's still to come. If that's the case, then Marie's survival in Gen V doesn't mean Annabeth's vision was wrong. It just means the future hasn't caught up yet. Now, why would the writers include a major vision like that and not pay it off immediately? Because Gen V has always been about cause and effect. The ripple effects of Compound V, the manipulation by Vought, and how every decision these young supes make feeds into the chaos of the boys. Annabeth's vision might be a warning for what's to come when Marie inevitably crosses paths with Homelander or Butcher in the main series. Let's think about it. Marie has been built up as one of the strongest new generation supes, someone who can manipulate blood itself, weaponize it, and even heal others. Her power is raw, dangerous, and deeply tied to life and death. That kind of ability doesn't go unnoticed by someone like Homelander. He thrives on dominance, control, and the destruction of anyone who challenges him. If Marie's rise threatens his power, and let's be honest, it will, then Annabeth's vision could be a prelude to that inevitable showdown. And if you know anything about the boys, you know that happy endings are rare. So what if Annabeth didn't misinterpret the future? She just saw it too early. But there's another theory that makes this even more interesting. What if Annabeth's visions aren't actually fixed points in time, but projections based on current choices and emotions? That means the future can change depending on how events unfold. If so, Marie's death was only one of many possible outcomes, a future that could have happened if Annabeth hadn't intervened, or if Marie hadn't made the choices she did. This theory aligns perfectly with how Gen V portrays fate and free will. The show constantly blurs the line between destiny and choice. Every character, Marie, Kate, Jordan, Andre, faces moral decisions that shape their futures. So it's entirely possible that Annabeth's vision was showing what would have happened if Marie gave in to her darker instincts or made a fatal choice in the heat of battle. By defying that path, she changed her fate. If that's true, it says something powerful about Marie as a character, that even in a world built on manipulation, violence, and corruption, she could still carve her own destiny. And maybe that's what makes her such a threat to Vought and Homelander in the first place. She's proof that fate isn't unbreakable. Still, let's not forget how emotionally devastating Annabeth's vision was for her. Seeing your sister's death, even if it's just a potential future, would shake anyone to their core. It explains why Annabeth became so protective, anxious, and desperate toward the end of season 2. She wasn't just fearing the loss of her sister. She was fighting the weight of inevitability. Now, let's go even deeper. What if Annabeth didn't see Marie's literal death, but rather her transformation, a metaphorical death of the person she once was? Throughout Gen V, Marie has struggled with the trauma of her parents' death, the stigma of her powers, and the moral burden of what it means to be a soup. She's constantly torn between doing what's right and surviving in a system built on lies. So maybe Annabeth's vision symbolized the moment Marie sheds her old self, the innocent, idealistic version, and embraces a darker path. We've already seen this theme mirrored in The Boys, with characters like Starlight, who had to kill her naive self to become a symbol of rebellion against Vought. Marie could be on a similar trajectory, one where her compassion is tested, her trust shattered, and her identity rewritten by the harsh realities of the world she's fighting. If that's the case, then Annabeth's vision did come true, just not in the way she or we expected. But let's go back to the second theory the show subtly sets up. The idea that Annabeth's vision actually belongs to The Boys Season 5. That's a bold but compelling possibility. Gen V has been laying the groundwork for its characters to cross over into the main storyline. Marie especially has become too important to ignore. Her powers make her one of the few soups who could stand a chance against Homelander, maybe even being the key to his downfall. So if Annabeth's vision truly depicts Marie's death, it could happen in The Boys' final season, a tragic but fitting end to her story. Imagine the emotional weight of that. Annabeth's vision wasn't wrong. It was just premature. It's a chilling idea, but one that aligns with how The Boys loves to play with long-term foreshadowing and tragedy. Think about it. Marie dying at the hands of Homelander, sacrificing herself to protect others, or even taking him down in the process. That would be one of the most powerful and heartbreaking conclusions to both series. It would give Annabeth's precognition a haunting legacy, the gift of foresight that couldn't stop destiny, only delay it. And if we look at how the camera lingered on Annabeth's fear after her vision, it's clear the writers wanted us to remember that moment. It wasn't a throwaway scene. It was a warning. Thematically, Annabeth's precognition embodies one of Gen V's core ideas, that knowledge of the future doesn't always grant control. Sometimes, knowing too much only makes the pain worse. Just like how Marie can control blood but not always the consequences, Annabeth can see the future but can't guarantee she'll understand or change it. That tension between power and helplessness defines both sisters and ties their arcs together beautifully. So where does that leave us? If Annabeth's visions are fluid, then Marie's survival at the end of Gen V Season 2 might represent hope, proof that fate isn't written in stone. But if her vision was literal and just delayed, then we're looking at a ticking time bomb heading straight into The Boys Season 5. Either way, the vision matters. It's not a mistake, it's a setup. The real question now is, will Marie continue to defy destiny, or will her sister's vision finally catch up to her? As The Boys and Gen V universes continue to intertwine, we're left with one haunting image. Annabeth, terrified, seeing her sister's end before it happens. Whether that death is physical or symbolic, one thing is clear. Visions like hers never come without a price. And if the world of The Boys has taught us anything, it's that fate has a way of circling back, no matter how hard you try to escape it. So maybe Annabeth's vision didn't fail at all. Maybe it's just waiting for the right moment to come true.